we now welcome Kevin Negandhi to the program. Kevin, of course, SportsCenter anchor. SportsCenter right now is visiting every state in the country.
Yeah.
50 states in the month. I think it's July and August, and Kevin joins us now. Kevin, are you in California? Are you going to the ESPYs?
Steve, John, I'm actually co-hosting with El Duncan SportsCenter at the ESPYs on the red carpet. We're doing the pre-show. We're doing SportsCenter as well.
Oh, that's awesome,
we're gonna
man.
highlight.
Well, welcome,
Yeah, so
welcome to
we'll
LA.
be on in a couple hours. Looking forward to it. I've had the chance to do this a couple times a few years back when it was by LA Live, but now by of course, the Hollywood Hills and the Dolby Center. Cannot wait for tonight.
All right, so Mychal Thompson's hanging out with us, Kevin, and I'm gonna say something. I want the three of you to tell me if I'm guilty of being prisoner of the moment. Okay.
Okay.
I think that the greatest speech in American history is Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech. Mychal, second, I would put the Gettysburg Address. Third, I would put Jim Valvano's ESPY speech. I think it was that good. Kevin, am I guilty of being prisoner of the moment?
No, because the speech was 30 years ago.
Yeah,
so
it's really
definitely
not of the
not.
moment anymore.
But
Yeah.
it's he did it at the ESPYs where Kevin's going to be tonight, and so that's what made me think of it.
Yeah, he did it at the first ESPYs, and honestly, all the words that he said in that speech still carry so much weight to this day, especially with what the V Foundation's been able to do with over $400 million raised over the last 3 decades, all triggered by Jim's amazing speech. If you watch it, it's just over, I think, 20 minutes, and it hits home on, I think, some of the most basic things about understanding your emotion, living in the moment, understanding that, cancer can do some damage internally, but it cannot take your spirit. It cannot take your emotion. It cannot take what you are there as a soul on this earth and planet to do something. And I thought it was the greatest legacy for Jim Valvano. And I would definitely consider it in the top 5. I never ever sat down and said, what are the greatest speeches of all time? But I do like the 3 nominees. I would put in JFK as well with his speech that transcended. But
which I think, Kevin, was at the Coliseum, was at the LA Coliseum when JFK said, "Ask not what you can, what your country can do for you, what you do for you." That's a really good one.
Don't forget Michael Jordan's speech at the Hall of Fame.
Oh,
he hated everybody.
That was all.
Yeah, that was
Feel
great.
The love.
That was
Feel
great.
the love, MJ.
Hey, Kevin, you're going to every state. Does that include Hawaii and Alaska?
All 50, Michael.
Wow.
I've had a lot of people say, "Are you going to every one?" And I'm like, "No, I wouldn't be alive, and I would be divorced." I've gone to 3 so far. I was in Atlanta, Georgia, yesterday as well with my co-host El Duncan.
That's her hometown, right?
Yeah. So it was great to go with her. I go back home after California. I was in Kansas for Dude Perfect last Friday. I was in Seattle the week before. I got Iowa and Field of Dreams next week. And then a little bit of Canton, Ohio for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And then I wrap things up in my home state of Pennsylvania, August 16th in Williamsport with the Little League World Series. So I've got 7 of the 50. I've been told that that's the most for any anchor.
That a boy.
And guys, listen, I'm a father to a 13-year-old, an 11-year-old, and an 8-year-old. And for selfish reasons, some of the ones I've picked have been, hey, I'm going to take my kids on this trip. So let's go see Dude Perfect. Let's go to the Home Run Derby. Let's go to Field of Dreams. Let's go, to Little League World Series. So I've been trying to make these as trips to experience it and showcase the best of the country throughout this tour of 50 days, 50 states.
With which state do you think has been the most difficult in finding a cool place to do the show from? I was looking at the schedule, Delaware.
Got to be Maine, right?
What do you do if you're in Delaware? What do you do if you're in Maine?
Maine, you could do something around Cooper Flag. But you're right about Delaware. Kevin,
Delaware.
Do you even know, Kevin, what they're going to do in Delaware?
I can tell you what they're going to do in Delaware. They're going to Dover for the NASCAR race.
Oh, good one.
Perfect.
Yeah.
They find a way. Some of the hardest ones, a lot of people are like, wait, why are you going to Kansas, Wichita, Kansas for Dude Perfect? Well, Dude Perfect was putting on a show there. And unfortunately, it's the off season. You can't do a lot on Kansas basketball because it's the off season. So what I found, was interesting is we were in Wichita, and I said, Barry Sanders was born here. His family still lives here. There's a field named after him. He also still connects to that high school Wichita North. Also, Gale Sayers was born in Wichita. So let's make it about, the connections that Kansas has, and let's put that up on a pedestal while still talking about KU basketball and then, actually competing with Duke Perfect in Wichita that night. So we're finding our little, in 50 days, you're finding moments and things that separate ourselves. And I actually joked around that this is basically 50 days of the Ocho, right?
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of other sports in the summertime that don't get a lot of love, and you can put them on a pedestal and talk about it, but also celebrate the state and all the achievements. And let me tell you, California has a long list of things, and we're going to highlight that during the 6 o'clock SportsCenter Eastern Time, so 3 o'clock local.
Well, when you guys go to Idaho, you can stay at Ireland's Mansion up there in Idaho.
That's right, Kevin. I got a spread in Idaho. Are you a golfer?
I am a golfer, but I'm not going to Idaho this time.
Okay.
I wish I knew earlier.
All
I
right.
would have asked for it.
All right, so we're talking to Kevin Negandhi from SportsCenter. Kevin, you probably don't know this, but we're the Rams station, and Mason is probably the biggest Rams fan at the station.
Yes.
You are an Eagles fan. You're basking in the glow of your Super Bowl win. We were both convinced, Mason and I.
29-28. We're going to win that game.
When Matthew Stafford was driving down the field in that playoff game in Philadelphia, that we had you, that he was going to find Puka Nacua in the end zone and that the Rams were going to win this game. Were you nervous at all when that was going down?
Fellas, I was more nervous about that game than any postseason game the Eagles had to deal with. And I'm just going to say one thing. Thank God for home field advantage, because if that was on an even playing field in L.A. or in a dome, maybe a different story.
Yeah.
Because now listen, Philly won. Let's not forget what Saquon did when we came to L.A.
Oh, yeah, I remember it. I was
Sunday
there.
Yeah.
I remember that game.
And Saquon was phenomenal in that game. But having home field shows the difference. And when Saquon scored that touchdown in the snow and everybody's losing their mind, being a Philadelphia fan who's gone through a hell of a lot, I was like, there's just too much time for Matthew Stafford. So when he carved them up and went down the field quickly, I was pretty tight. I was actually in Atlanta watching, getting ready for the College Football National Championship, and I usually watch with my guy Booger McFarland, who I host college football with on ABC. And I refused to watch the game with anybody. I went back to my hotel room, shut the door, and I said, "Do not even try to call me. I'm not coming back down in the lounge. I'm watching this by myself," because I was pretty stressed. And I think you guys are going to be one of the biggest. The Lions and the Rams, they're going to be the biggest contenders and challengers to the Eagles, I think, if they try to repeat in the NFC.
Is Shea Gilgeous-Alexander the unanimous male athlete of the year this year?
I can't tell you that, Michael, but
Come on.
because
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
Kevin doesn't know.
I can't tell you that, but
They don't tell the guys on the red
you
carpet who won the awards, right?
Yeah, he's probably favored, but I have no other information about that. I can't reveal it, and if I did, I don't think I would share it with the audience. I'd just say stay tuned to ABC tonight.
Yeah, of course, hosted by Shane Gillis tonight, who's very, very funny. Out of curiosity from you, who do you think is the biggest star? Who has the most star power of anybody that will appear at the ESPYs tonight? Anybody on the guest list or presenters list or awards list, any of that?
Man, that is a great question. Considering I don't know who's going to be here and who's actually said yes and coming, I would imagine Shea, I would imagine Saquon. But at the same time, if you want my personal opinion on who's the biggest star, I would think it would be, if he ever came, would be Shohei.
Yeah, I was just thinking that too. Yeah.
I just think that Shohei transcends past anything on baseball. He's a household name. Everybody kind of looks at him, even guys in the sport look at him in wonderment. And when you could do that, and Michael knows this, like everybody, when you were playing at a certain level, you guys all have been stars, high school stars, college stars, but when other professional stars in your career look at you and they do the same things and they're still in wonderment, there's something special about you. There's rarefied air. So I saw that yesterday and 2 days ago when I was at the Home Run Derby, just how people looked at Shohei, how the players were around him. He's just different, man. He transcends.
Yeah. All right. Hey, listen, Kevin, thanks a lot for coming on.
Have fun tonight, Kevin.
Don't forget, Kevin, along with El Duncan on the red carpet for the 3 o'clock SportsCenter here in L.A. Thanks for coming on, and we will see you. What's your next state?
Next state will be Iowa next week. Field of Dreams. I'll be coming out of the cornstalk.
See you in Iowa.
Love it.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin. Have fun.